Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Anne Nwawadu. The United Nations has backed Turkey and Ukraine by calling for a 120-day rollover of an agreement allowing the safe export of grain from several Ukrainian Black Sea ports after Russia said it would only extend the pact for 60 days. The pact is due to expire on Saturday, that's the 18th of March, but it was brokered with Russia and Ukraine by the United Nations and Turkey in July last year. It was renewed in November to combat a global food crisis that was fueled in part of Russia's invasion of neighboring Ukraine and the blockade of its Black Sea grain exports.
The agreement is public. It's an open document, and it foresees a rollover of 120 days. I'm reiterating and reading something that is in a public document. Russia is a party to this deal. Ukraine is a party to this deal. Turkey is a party to this deal. There are discussions ongoing. I was just stating and reading basically a line from the agreement, which talks about the fact the agreement foresees a renewal for 120 days, right? There are three parties to this agreement. They're all expressing their positions. Discussions are ongoing. The Secretary General's focus is on ensuring the continuity and the integrity of an agreement that is critical to global food security, while at the same time continuing our efforts and very focused efforts on the Memorandum of Understanding, which looks at the facilitation of trade of Russian food and fertilizer, which, as we've said, has faced, while those two things are not under sanction, they have faced obstacles, and we're working hard to remove those obstacles.
Well, the White House has said the United States was informed of Poland's decision to provide Ukraine with fighter jets. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said that it is part of a continued effort to closely coordinate with allies and partners. But Poland's president says the country will send Ukraine 4 MiG-29 fighter jets in the coming days, making it the first of Kiev's allies to provide such aircrafts.
We were informed by their decision by Poland to provide the jets to Ukraine. So we continue to closely coordinate with our allies and partners, including Poland, as we provide assistance to Ukraine. Yesterday, Secretary Austin, as you probably know, hosted the 10th Ukraine Defense Contact Group, in which countries around the world continue to step up.
Meanwhile, Slovakia has followed suit, saying that it will send 13 MiG-29 fighter jets to Ukraine. The Prime Minister of Slovakia, Eduard Heger, made this disclosure, making it the second NATO member to pledge the aircraft after Poland. He said, quote, "Promises must be kept. And when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky asked for more weapons, including fighter jets, I said we'll do our best. Glad others are doing the same." He also adds that the military aid is key to ensure Ukraine can defend itself and Europe against Russia. But how Russia is receiving this? Well, the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said in response to Eastern European countries transferring fighter jets to Ukraine that the planes will be destroyed. He says the supply of this equipment cannot affect the outcome of the special operation, but it will bring additional troubles to Ukraine and its people. Western countries that have provided Ukraine with arms have so far declined to send fighter jets. In the meantime, officials say Chinese President Xi Jinping will travel to Moscow next weekend to hold talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin said they will discuss a comprehensive partnership and strategic cooperation. The visit is coming as Beijing, which is an ally of Russia, has offered proposals to end the war in Ukraine, to which the West has given a lukewarm reception. Western countries have warned Beijing against supplying Moscow with weapons, but Beijing's foreign ministry said that Mr. Xi will be in Russia from the 20th to the 22nd of March at the invitation of Mr. Putin. And talking about China's foreign ministry, says that Xi Jinping will exchange opinions on major international and regional issues with the Russian President Vladimir Putin during their visit to Russia. Speaking at a regular news briefing, the spokesperson Wang Wenbin said the objective of the visit is to further deepen bilateral trust. Mr. Wenbin said Xi's visit to Russia, his first in nearly 4 years, was part of efforts to promote peace.
In recent years, President Xi Jinping and President Vladimir Putin have maintained close contacts and led the sustained, healthy, and stable development of China-Russia Comprehensive Strategic Cooperation Partnership in the new era, which has successfully developed a way of getting along with strategic mutual trust and neighborly friendship and cooperation among major powers, and set up a new paradigm of international relations. During his state visit to Russia, President Xi Jinping will have an in-depth exchange of views with President Putin on bilateral relations and major international and regional issues of common concern. China will uphold its objective and fair positions on the Ukrainian crisis and play a constructive role in promoting peace talks.
Ukraine said it had started producing components for nuclear fuel rods, the first step towards future nuclear fuel independence. Ukraine previously received most of its nuclear services and nuclear fuel from Russia. Ukrainian Minister of Energy, German, said that the, quote, "our common goal with our American partners is to produce certain types of fuel as soon as possible, then a certain amount of fuel to completely push out Russia out of Europe's nuclear fuel market." According to him, Ukraine's state nuclear company will be able to produce its own nuclear fuel from the year 2026. Last year, Ukraine signed a deal for the U.S. nuclear power company Westinghouse to supply fuel to all of its atomic power stations in an effort to end its reliance on Russian supplies. The rainy weather of early spring did not spoil fun either for two giant pandas, Ruyi and Ding Ding, living in Moscow Zoo, or even for the zoo visitors who came to celebrate Panda Day. The animal curators of the zoo prepared special treats for the pandas, including colorful cake decorated with fruits. The animals, however, preferred their own traditional meal of bamboo shoots. The two giant pandas were given to Moscow Zoo by the Chinese President Xi Jinping at a ceremony attended by the Russian President Vladimir Putin back in April 2019. Beijing loaned pandas to Moscow for 15 years as part of a joint research project. Regardless of their cute looks and vegetarian diet, pandas have a formidable force, and they can easily harm a curator who would approach them. So building trust between humans and giant pandas is very important in everyday work.